Do you agree, Meghnad Desai? Do you agree that that was one of the most ridiculous comments of the press conference, where the Prime Minister said, you know, on all the scams, he said we voters gave us a mandate in 2009. I think he forgot to mention that all these scams, CWG, 2G, coal, came into public domain and were exposed by the media in 2010.
Yes.
He's trying to make the election of 2009 into a referendum against corruption. Manmohan Singh says corruption does not matter because I got voted back in 2009. Is that the most ridiculous comment of the press conference, or is there another one?
No, I hope that is the most ridiculous comment, and I'm sure Narendra Modi will use it again and again. Mere bhi paap dhul gaye. I've been re-elected 3 times. So why, the people of Gujarat have accepted me, and so why are you blaming me? So I think we have to make quite clear that the sins of corruption, the scandals of corruption, don't go away. Even when you have passed a Lokpal bill, we still don't know the answer to Colgate. We still don't know the answer to 2G. It may be that Dr. Manmohan Singh was not responsible. Yes. But he was the Prime Minister, the rest of his cabinet was responsible. So he should blame his cabinet, he should name names, he should say these are the people who did the scam, and I denounce them in public. Because
he should take responsibility.
You see, I think what's going to happen. But you see, this press conference was staged just to say that it was not Rahul Gandhi's fault that we lost this election. It was my fault. This was Manmohan Singh being pushed out to confess that it was his fault that Congress is losing elections. You see, this is the secret of it. Rahul Gandhi may have done all, but Rahul Gandhi cannot be blamed, so Manmohan Singh has to be blamed. Manmohan Singh has been hung out to dry by the Congress party. I tell you, that's what happened. And he may not last. He may not last the general election.
That is
he may not last the general election.
Rita Joshi, this is the bitter truth. You see, the Prime Minister distances himself from...
Why would Manmohan Singh... Arnab, why would Prime Minister have a press conference? Why did he need a press conference? Why did the man who has never had a press conference need a press conference? He had a press conference because he had to confess.
Come on, Rita Bahuguna Joshi, actually this is the question everyone in the country is asking. Ms. Joshi, why did the Prime Minister... I just want to ask directly one-on-one a question to Rita Bahuguna Joshi. 1 minute, ma'am.
Please let me ask you a question.
Why did he hold a press conference?
Let me ask you a question. How can you ask such a question? Why did he hold a press conference? He is the Prime Minister. We have turned the year. This is election year. He wants to interact with the
media. He's a Prime Minister who never speaks or never spoke.
He will again come back.
He's a Prime Minister who never answered. He's a Prime Minister who, when all the scams were going on, Rita Bahuguna Joshi, there was not one word from the Prime Minister. He's a Prime Minister. He's a Prime Minister who stood up in Parliament during the missing Colgate files and said, I am not the custodian of the files in the coal ministry. He's a Prime Minister who never took responsibility. So why would he have a press conference today? You forced him to have a press conference.
He has been pushed out to take the blame.
He has made statements on the floor of the House.
He has been pushed out to take the blame.
Whenever he likes.
He has taken the blame.
Leader of the Congress party. This is not right to... What kind of...
He is not a leader of the Congress party. Sorry. He is only a Prime Minister. He is not a leader of the Congress party.
You mean to say...
to confess my faults.
Managed. Please tell me the media was managed, or you tell me, please.
Ms. Joshi, let's get some others in. Manoj Jha and Chandan Mitra. Manoj Jha, Chandan Mitra, Sudhindra Kulkarni and Hartosh Bala also in the debate. During the press conference, the Prime Minister kept saying, quote, and let's look at the number of eyes. I want to count the number of eyes. Not eyes that you see with, but eyes as you describe yourself with. Not I the word, but I the alphabet. Here's the Prime Minister's I remark. He says, I feel somewhat sad because I was the one who insisted that spectrum allocation should be transparent, fair and equitable. I was the one. I insisted that coal allocation should be done on the basis of auctions. Hence, I am good, government is bad. Manmohan Singh good, cabinet bad. His insistence, Manoj Jha, I see your finger go up there. His insistence on being the one who was the voice of reason does not cut any ice with me, because he has an abject history of failure on cracking the whip and reining in his own corrupt ministers. This is the question I asked the Prime Minister when I had a chance to interact with him, that you cannot use coalition politics to compromise on corruption. Yet, so many years later, the same old remark from the Prime Minister, I am good, everyone else is bad. Will history forgive him?
No. I mean, history would judge. In fact, history is better than some of the section of media which feeds the appetite for sensationalism. His eye was prominent today because his eye has been attacked.
Clarify that point. Clarify that point. Let's not let you get away with that. What is sensational? No, what is sensational?
No, I said
CWG was sensational.
He has been attacked simply on N number. No, I didn't say that.
You make a superficial, scurrilous remark like that, and I won't let you get away with it.
No, I said today.
Even Manmohan Singh says that you're parroting Manmohan Singh's line, that history will judge me better than contemporary media.
Can I just...
Right? So I'm telling you, all the scams that we broke, which one of those scams was proven to be wrong by the Prime Minister?
No, it is not a question. I'm talking about the debate which is going on in the media today. That why only one section of question was taken. I've been following Chandan even before his BJP days. Why do we decontextualize answers from the questions? See the answers in the context of questions. That we are not doing, Arnab. My only submission was that we must see the question. Don't decontextualize. And Chandan has been a journalist of a great...
I think you are not understanding the broader context. Chandan Mitra I get Chandan Mitra to respond, but in the last, I'll tell you what the context is. Rita Bahuguna Joshi won't like it. The context is that there are 5 last terrible years of UPA 2. 5 ministers have had to resign because of pressure by the media. The same media you don't like. You are talking today like Raja. You are talking today like Maran, right? You are talking today like Veerbhadra Singh. You are talking today like Bansal. And you are talking today like Ashwini Kumar. I don't know why you are talking like...
that has not protected anybody. We are not like Mr. Modi, who is protecting both Mr. Babulal Bukharia and Solanki.
Chandan Mitra,
Chandan Mitra into the party.
Chandan Mitra will respond, not me. Chandan Mitra.
We have allowed all
Chandan Mitra versus
I'm sorry, I won't respond to the
they have been removed, they have gone to jail.
And can you please ask her
so
to
please
kindly
don't say this.
allow others
to... Joshi, Chandan Mitra has folded his hands and is asking you to come. Let him come in.
हाथ जोड़ से आपके निवेदन कर रहा हूँ कि थोड़ा शांति से हमारी बात को भी सुनिए. Please, I have spoken in both languages. So if you... Sorry? No, I have very few observations.
Continue.
I just want to point out to Mr. Manoj Jha that, in his state, Bihar, the Chief Minister refused to arrest Yasin Bhatkal, the anti-national terrorist, for fear of antagonizing a particular community, when I'm sure nobody in his right mind in that community supports him. And then, you see now, for all this diatribe against Narendra Modi that has been launched there, and now Prime Minister and Nitish Kumar are on the same page. Now, you see, when you make these kind of distinctions and double standards of policy that are practiced, and you see his speech today, I mean minority. As if the majority community does not vote. That he does not need votes from the others apart from minorities. These are the hypocrisies and double standards that will mark Manmohan Singh.
Yeah.
And I think that is why his final farewell speech, he's speaking about these things only, and not the economy.
No, we digressed a bit. It's okay, Ms. Joshi, because he made the point respond, but make it brief.
Dr. Manmohan Singh was there for 75 minutes. He took on all the questions until the correspondents and the media was tired. He has very candidly and truthfully spoken up.
Sudhindra Kulkarni is also responding to that. You have accused them. No, 1 second. An accusation made. This is an accusation made by Chandan Mitra and Chandan Mitra alone. And Sudhindra Kulkarni wants to take him on that. You accuse the Prime Minister of minority appeasement at the news conference? Now, I think that's a bit of an overstatement, Chandan Mitra. You're looking for an angle which probably does not exist. But in any case, Chandan Mitra, Sudhindra Kulkarni, your ex-colleague from the BJP is taking you on.
Arnab, I don't think that the Prime Minister was indulging in minority appeasement in today's press conference. No. But I want to say one very big minus of the Prime Minister's press conference was his answer to the questions about corruption scandals, and he saying that in spite of these scandals that came up in UPA 1, the people gave us a mandate. You know, he was less than being truthful, because these scandals came up actually in UPA 2. They came to be known in UPA 2. So the Prime Minister was not entirely sincere in that particular answer. Nevertheless, I would say that this Prime Minister, in spite of his personal sincerity, has been the most uncommunicative Prime Minister that India has had. The Prime Minister is not just the head of the Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister is the leader of the nation. He ought to speak to the nation. And his biggest failure, in spite of many good initiatives that he took, his government took, his biggest failure that he rarely communicated with the people of India.
No, this defiance. Now, this sense of defiance, I would say, Hartosh, the Prime Minister comes out today with a sense of defiance. And I would say, with this sense of defiance the Prime Minister comes out with will actually hurt his own party. If the Prime Minister wanted to help his own party, he could have said, my first term was good, my second term was not as good, there are lessons to be learnt, and I'm sure that the Congress party will learn from these lessons and provide a different kind of leadership. The Prime Minister did not say that. By being so defiant, Hartosh, has the Prime Minister ended up doing more damage to the Congress party than the Congress would have liked?
Earplugs laate hain aap?
Yes, Arnab, the overarching tone of the press conference from the Prime Minister's side seemed to be that of smug arrogance. It is clearly, I have done nothing wrong, I have been right in everything I have been saying, and history will prove me right. As if contemporary politics, contemporary criticism, electoral failures, all of this amount to nothing. You know, this arrogance is what is costing the party and the Prime Minister dear. And the real problem is when he says...
You think the Congress party would be wincing when he was saying all that today, Hartosh?
Absolutely, it would be wincing, because clearly the implication is that the party led him down a path he didn't want to go. But then why did he go down that path? Who forced him to do that? These are obvious questions which have been asked for 3-4 years. He's never given any answers.
You see, Ms. Joshi, look here, Meghna Desai, I'm coming to you. This is actually coming to a critical point.
Truthfully. How can you say he was arrogant? The last person in the nation who can be...
What is he saying truthfully, Ms. Joshi?
Said to be arrogant is Dr.
Ms. Joshi, No, Ms. Joshi.
The Prime Minister is the most humble.
Ms. Joshi, he says I won in 2009. No, when he's asked about the scams, the Prime Minister says that voters gave me a mandate in 2009. The Prime Minister of India, of the most scam-ridden government, right, the maximum number of ministers having to be sacked, a government which many people felt was, in suicidal mode on acts of corruption for most of the last 4.5 years. The Prime Minister comes and says, my electoral victory in 2009 must not be forgotten. I am asking you tonight, Ms. Joshi, does an electoral victory diminish or justify corruption?
He didn't say, look, what was the meaning?
Does it diminish or justify corruption?
We had so many achievements in the social sector, whether it was agriculture or whether it was our growth rate or whether it was the health scheme or
again you are digressing.
Other things. You see,
what's the relevance of that?
He spoke about.
What's the relevance of that?
He also spoke about the loan waiver. So his intention was that our good works were so many that people voted us back into power in 2009.
No, I am talking about the Prime Minister. I am not talking about the social sector schemes. I am talking about accountability. Chandan Mitra is responding. I am talking about accountability. I'd say today that the Prime Minister, if you hear me, Ms. Joshi, if you hear me just a minute. if you hear me just a minute, the bitter truth, I'll tell you the bitter truth.
And the Lokpal, along with the other two bills, which are pending, if they are all passed, then corruption will be taken care of very effectively.
Ms. Joshi, I'm getting in Chandan Mitra, Meghnad Desai and everyone else to respond to you. Just hear them in. I will only say one thing. 3 of the 5 ministers who had to resign were seen to be personally close to the Prime Minister. A,